Hello, brothers and sisters. This is Lisa, and I have one devotional and two words by Oswald to share with all of you today. The first one is titled Fire from Heaven. An amazing fact. In Jesus' day, the Samaritans were a large group. Through the years, wars such as the Third Samaritan Revolt and other calamities reduced their numbers a great deal. It is estimated that there are now just over 700 people remaining who are descended from the biblical Samaritans. On his last journey to Jerusalem, Jesus planned to stay in a Samaritan village. He sent James and John ahead to prepare the way. But because he was headed for Jerusalem, the prejudiced Samaritans didn't want him there. This infuriated James and John. "Lord, do you want us to command fire to come down from heaven and consume them, just as Elijah did?" James and John thought they were doing Jesus a favor. In their righteous indignation, they thought it was a good idea to just wipe these people off the map. Imagine their surprise when Jesus rebuked them. "You do not know what manner of spirit you are of, for the Son of Man did not come to destroy men's lives, but to save them." Luke 9 verses 55 and 56. When Jesus is rejected, he doesn't take revenge. He will not force people to accept him. But someone who rejects him today could still bow at his feet tomorrow. He waits with patience and mercy because he wants everyone to be saved. And it came to pass, when the time was come that he should be received up, he steadfastly set his face to go to Jerusalem, and sent messengers before his face. And they went and entered into a village of the Samaritans, to make ready for him. And they did not receive him, because his face was as though he would go to Jerusalem. And when his disciples James and John saw this, they said, "Lord, wilt thou that we command fire to come down from heaven and consume them, even as Elijah did?" But he turned and rebuked them, and said, "Ye know not what manner of spirit ye are of. For the Son of Man is not come to destroy men's lives, but to save them." And they went to another village. Luke 9 verses 51 through 56. And that is the end of the devotional. And the next word, this is by Oswald, and it is, "Have you ever been alone with God?" And this is part 1. When they were alone, he explained all things to his disciples. Mark 4 verse 34. Our solitude with him. Jesus doesn't take us aside and explain things to us all the time. He explains things to us as we are able to understand them. The lives of others are examples for us, but God requires us to examine our own souls. It is slow work, so slow that it takes God all of time and eternity to make a man or woman conform to his purpose. We can only be used by God after we allow him to show us the deep hidden areas of our own character. It is astounding how ignorant we are about ourselves. We don't even recognize the envy, laziness, or pride within us when we see it. But Jesus will reveal to us everything we have held within ourselves before his grace began to work. How many of us have learned to look inwardly with courage? We have to get rid of the idea that we understand ourselves. That is always the last bit of pride to go. The only one who understands us is God. The greatest curse in our spiritual life is pride. If we have ever had a glimpse of what we are like in the sight of God, we will never say, "Oh, I'm so unworthy." we will understand that this goes without saying. But as long as there is any doubt that we are unworthy, God will continue to close us in until He gets us alone. Whenever there is any element of pride or conceit remaining, Jesus can't teach us anything. He will allow us to experience heartbreak or the disappointment we feel when our intellectual pride is wounded. He will reveal numerous misplaced affections or desires, things over which we never thought He would have to get us alone. Many things are shown to us, often without effect, but when God gets us alone over them, they will be clear. And that's the end of part 1, and this is part 2. When He was alone, the 12 asked Him about the parable. Mark 4, verse 10. His solitude with us, when God gets us alone through suffering, heartbreak, temptation, disappointment, sickness, or by thwarted desires, a broken friendship, or a new friendship, when He gets us absolutely alone and we are totally speechless, unable to ask even one question, then He begins to teach us. Notice Jesus Christ's training of the 12. It was the disciples, not the crowd outside, who were confused. His disciples constantly asked Him questions, and He constantly explained things to them, but they didn't understand until after they received the Holy Spirit. John 14, verse 26. As you journey with God, the only thing He intends to be clear is the way He deals with your soul. The sorrows and difficulties in the lives of others will be absolutely confusing to you. We think we understand another person's struggle until God reveals the same shortcomings in our lives. There are vast areas of stubbornness and ignorance the Holy Spirit has to reveal in each of us, but it can only be done when Jesus gets us alone. Are we alone with Him now? Or are we more concerned with our own ideas, friendships, and cares for our bodies? Jesus cannot teach us anything until we quiet all our intellectual questions and get alone with Him. And that is the end of these words. I pray you all have a beautiful day in the Lord. God bless each and every one of you, and I will see you either next video or in the air. Bye-bye.